For over a decade, the Apple TV sat silently in our living rooms. It was the background player, the quiet, unassuming streaming box for Netflix and Disney+. We never saw it as a rival to the monolithic, aggressive presence of the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. But while we were streaming 4K movies, Apple was conducting a silent revolution. They weren't just updating a streamer, they were building a weapon. And the latest leaks confirm that this weapon, powered by the M3 chip, is coming for the consoles. The rumor is staggering: a Mac-level chip inside a tiny box, potentially priced at just £299. This is not an upgrade, this is an invasion. It's the console killer the tech world never believed Apple would build. Sony and Microsoft should be terrified, because this device doesn't need to win the hardware war, it just needs to steal the battlefield. 2. The engine, M3 power versus the brute force. The single most definitive leak is the move from the A-series chips, like the A15 in the current model, to the M3 silicon. This shift is the smoking gun. It's the difference between a high-end mobile chip and a dedicated desktop processor. We need to understand the M3's advantage. It's not just about peak power, the teraflops debate, it's about efficiency and unified memory. The M3's memory architecture allows the CPU and GPU to share resources instantly, avoiding bottlenecks that plague traditional console memory systems. This gives the M3 an agility advantage. Furthermore, the M3 chip already supports advanced graphics features like hardware ray tracing in ported titles on Mac. The question isn't whether it can run AAA games, it's whether Apple will enable the sustained performance required. And that brings us to the next shocking leak: active cooling. An Apple TV that requires a fan is an Apple TV that is serious about performance. A fan confirms that this chip is running at MacBook Pro level sustained wattage, proving that the primary mandate is now gaming, not passive streaming. This one feature is the clearest indicator of the console's birth. 3. The strategic price trap, the £299 loss leader. Why would Apple sell a piece of hardware containing an M3-level chip for a price that undercuts even the diskless PS5? Because Apple doesn't want your £299, they want your £18.95 every month. This £299 price point is a masterstroke of business strategy. It turns a significant console purchase into a casual impulse buy for millions of existing iPhone and Mac users in the UK. This price allows the M3 Apple TV to act as a strategic loss leader, funneling users into their high-margin services, Apple Arcade, Apple One, and Apple Fitness Plus. The revenue model shifts from hardware sales, Sony/Microsoft, to long-term subscription revenue, Apple. This device targets the vast market of casual core gamers, people who enjoy Fortnite and Genshin Impact but don't want the complexity or bulk of a traditional console. The barrier to entry is eliminated. 4. The ecosystem dominance and tvOS 2025. The true, existential threat to the established console market is the ecosystem. The M3 Apple TV is not a standalone box, it's a living room hub that speaks the same language as the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac. The next version of tvOS must transform to support this vision. We expect a dedicated gaming interface, immediate access to an expanded game center, and seamless instant profile switching, possibly using facial recognition or a new remote with Touch ID. The setup is instant. Your phone is your controller, your profile is synced, and your payment method is ready. This seamless integration kills the friction that plagues every other console launch. Furthermore, the M3 is not just for gaming. It's the brain for Apple Intelligence, AI, in the home. The overpowered chip allows for real-time, on-device AI processing for a Smart Siri, advanced 4K upscaling for movies, and total control over the Matter smart home standard. It becomes the essential device you need, and the gaming is a powerful bonus. The game library, the make-or-break moment. We must be honest, a console is nothing without games. This has always been Apple TV's weakness. However, the M3 chip standardizes the hardware. Developers previously had to target the fragmented performance of different iPhones and Macs. Now, they have a dedicated, high-spec platform. We can predict two things. A massive push to port existing AAA Mac titles, like Resident Evil and Death Stranding, to launch alongside the M3 Apple TV. The creation of a new, higher-tier Apple Arcade Pro subscription, featuring exclusive, high-fidelity games that justify the M3 hardware. The question is no longer can it run the games, but will Apple pay for the games? Given the scale of their subscription revenue, the answer is an emphatic yes. 6. The verdict: the war is already declared. The M3 Apple TV marks the end of the streaming box as we know it. It is Apple's most strategic device launch since the iPad. It's a silent, elegant piece of hardware that delivers Mac power, undercuts the competition on price, and funnels millions into a lucrative subscription ecosystem. The established console players are not fighting an opponent they can see, they are fighting the frictionless integration of the world's largest tech company. The £299 console war has been declared, and the M3 Apple TV is the device that will finally change the living room forever.